Well, welcome to the recording for the Spreadsheets unit in Computer Fundamentals. And as you can see, the Spreadsheets unit has 3 projects. So we turn in Project 1, Project 2, Project 3. And as a reminder, remember you're required to submit at least one assignment on Tuesday, October 1st. So I'd recommend you submit Project 1. It's real easy to do. So I'm going to go down and discuss all 3 of these projects. And just like in the Documents unit, all 3 of these projects work off of each other. So you do Project 1 and you name it Section 4 Project 1, submit it. Then you open it up, save it as Section 5 Project 2, then submit it. Then you open Section 5 Project 2 up, save it as Section 6 Project 3, then you submit it. And all in their individual drop boxes. So let's go down to the Spreadsheets unit, and we look at the 3 assignments. The first thing you have to do, don't just jump into the assignment, because you have to go through right here, creating a spreadsheet. You need to go through these steps to start building a spreadsheet. So you're going to work on creating a new spreadsheet, and it's a weekly budget spreadsheet. So you have to work through these steps, and there's these videos that will show you how to do that. And you're going to follow these steps directly when it can't be any clearer. In column A1 you type the words weekly budget. In column A3 you type my expense item. Column A4 you can put these categories if you want. But ultimately you're going to end up with 10 expense items with amounts. So this is exactly what you want it to look at like after you watch these little tutorials. Then you go through and you make changes to them. So you're going to enter some data, you're going to resize some columns, you're going to do a number of things with this demonstration video, and you follow these directions exactly and follow the video, and the person who recorded the video tells you exactly how to do it. So you do all of that stuff exactly, then you save it. So you can save it as budget spreadsheet if you want to. Then you move on to Project 1. So you do that work first. You don't turn it in, but that's the basis for the work you're going to be doing for the rest of this. So now that you have that, then you go in, you need to rename the column amount with the name of one family member. Then you need to add a column for each other family member. So you need to have at least 4 family members. Then you add more budget items. And it's required to have 10 budget items. And every budget item should have a value for at least 1 family member. Some budget items should have multiple family members. So if we click here to see how it's going to be graded, hopefully this is it. But the biggest thing about this is you need to follow these directions that are written within the lessons, and it will show you exactly how to do it. Now that's not coming up, but I'll show you where you can find that information. So that's Project 1. So if I go up here to Course Home and Sample Assignments, Budget Project 1. This is what Budget Project 1, if you follow the directions exactly, this is what Project 1 will look like. Now you don't use Ron, Kim, Robert, Matt. That's my family. You put columns for all of your own family members. And you can see that there are 10 budget items. Some items are for multiple family members, etc. So you've done all this work. And right down here are the requirements. So just make sure that the header row and 3 is shown as in the exercise, at least 4 family members, and the word amount is no longer on it, at least 10 budget items, at least 1 budget item is multiple people, all family member columns are the same size, no columns have obscured text. So this is what you will end up with if you follow all of those directions. So please do that. Of course, as I said, you'll use different values, amounts, and things like that, different family members. members. So that's project 1. Now project 2, so you finished project 1, you saved it as section 4 project 1, and you submitted it. Now you open it up, and now you're going to do more work on it. So if you look at more work on it, at least 2 rows below your last expense item, you're going to have a last updated title in column A and today's date. So this tells you what that's going to be. And those cells should be a larger font and distinguishable from the rest of the spreadsheet. And then here are the other requirements. So you can, and we'll go take a look at this in the sample. So I'm going to scroll up to Course Home, and again go to Sample Assignments, look at Budget Project 2. Now when I look at Budget Project 2, you'll see that I took the first one and I made all of these changes to it. So you can see that I have, well, let's go down to see what the requirements are. A full set of grid lines for every cell. It does it. You can see all those grid lines. Thicker grid line around the whole thing. You can see the thicker grid line, right? The header line should have a color shading, a light color of your choice. So right up here in the header, you can see that it's a gray, kind of a light gray. The highest value for each family member is bolded with the red color. So you can see that I know I can see the highest value for each family member. Then finally, today's date is in the spreadsheet right here in an acceptable format, and the last updated row is larger font. So you can see that this writing is larger than the writing up here. So that's what it will look like after version 2. Finally, when we get down to Project 3 assignment, so you open up Project 2 assignment, and then you save it as Section 6 Project 3 immediately, then you start working on it. Now you're going to put in some totals and sums and everything. And you'll learn about totals and sums as you go through the lesson, so you need to do that work. So for each family member, we're going to do their totals. The number of expenses, that's going to be the count function. For each expense, the total. For each family member, for each expense, calculate the family members that have this expense. That's another count command. And then the total expense. So if you look at this diagram, this area right here, this is what you have after version 2. Then you're going to put in a sum column, a count column, a sum row, a count row, and then a total. So this is a little bit confusing, but now I'll show you an example of this. So we go up to the Course Home, and if I look at Sample Assignments, let's look at this final version. Now keep in mind what the requirements were. So you see the final version, and over here is the total column. Here's the count column. Down here is the total row. And here's the count row. Then there's that last updated. Those are already in it. And then I put the word total here. And then I totaled right here using the sum command. I totaled all of this total column. Now, this doesn't show you the formulas. Remember, in this total column, you're going to use formulas. You're going to use the sum formula, and that will sum up all of these. I'm trying to highlight this row. But from here, this one, this one, this one, and this one, that will sum it up. This one right here, that sums up all of these. And you need to use the sum command, not just type in, not just do the math yourself. You need to use the sum command, because what if Kim right here had added a Netflix account? We put the value here, and we want it to change automatically out here. So again, the totals column is going to be using the sum command. The count column is going to be using the count command. And in the lesson for this week, the lesson recording, I show you how to do those, and also the recordings that are in the class, it discusses how to do that. And then down here, of course, This cell is going to sum up all of these. This cell is going to count up this column. This cell sums up this column. This cell counts this column. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, this will be a sum command for all of these 10 items. So that's the work for this week. I've demonstrated to you what the 3 things should look like, and as a caution, use your own family, people's names of people in your own family or friends, whatever. You need to have at least 4 people, and you need to have 10 budget items. Lastly, do not do this work unless you go through all of these go through every section, section 3, section 4, section 5, section 6. Go through those because the videos show you and tell you how to do the basic work. So that's all there is. And if you send me something that's not nearly right, I'm going to just tell you, go back to the course and watch the lesson recording, and make sure you pay attention to the little help videos within each of these sections. There's no reason not to get it right because every resource is available for you here. Okay, as a reminder, October 1 on Tuesday, turn something in. I would suggest you turn in Section 4, Project 1, or you could turn in the Week 4 write-up on Tuesday, whichever you prefer to do, but you must turn something in that day or that evening before midnight. Okay, thanks everybody for listening. I look forward to your work coming in. Bye.